What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. I opted to just like keep everything as part of the series. I'm worried about dying. Like, death can happen so quickly in this game. So I recorded the last episode and I'm recording this one like 10 seconds later. We've moved down by like 20 hexes, but I've gotten in like 3 fights. And over the course of the way, I was like, maybe I should just like do this. They were just like little dogs and things like that we had to kill because they attacked us. It wasn't like that big of a deal, but it was still enough to where it put me on notice, you know what I mean? We just woke up. We'll go back to sleep then, because you are not well rested yet, and your burden is great. There we go. And so now we have woken up in the middle of the forest. I don't know, sometimes, our meat went bad within 1 day. Our meat went bad very, very quickly. Okay, well, then there's no point carrying it around with us, I suppose. I didn't make dinner last night because we were all full up on all of our stats, so we didn't really need to cook anything at the moment. So it was kind of just like one of those expenditures, and like time. Our spear's looking a little iffy. I could make a new one. We'll make it to Detroit first. I can get wood anywhere in this game. Giggity. Let's grab that back. And so we will restore that. Our thirst is looking a little subpar. Some of these have bad water in them, though, so you got to check the price before we go any further. It may cost us, especially considering the entire game we've been running around just like vomiting and not really been having the best of days. Let's continue. We will move forward. How come we only had one move right there? Sometimes the move allocations in this game, I wish at one point or another you could see like really what was affecting your character in various ways. I'm also semi-interested in Enfield horror. Let's go ahead and retreat from it just because I've never fought one before. And I'd rather not take the chance right now, especially on camera. I mean, come on. I'd rather test it out in one of my personal games and just, like, make sure that it's kosher before we go in and try and stab something that looks that threatening. It's got a big, giant eye, and it's got weird little tentacles and stuff. I know where this is going. I've been on the internet long enough to know, and I am concerned about it. Hey, our foraging went pretty well for the fact that there actually wasn't that much there. Store up some of that water for later. A couple of mushrooms right here for breakfast. I love mushrooms. Raw. I don't even care. The mushrooms can be raw. The mushrooms can be, like, braised. The mushrooms can be baked. The mushrooms can be deep fried. I don't care one little bit. Mushrooms are one of the greatest creations on this earth. Not the poisonous ones, though. You can't eat the ones off the ground here in California. You'll die. Like, some places have edible mushrooms that grow there. Here in California, we have ones that will kill you quite resoundingly if you eat them. In fact, it happens every now and again. Because what will happen is people will emigrate here. Or they'll immigrate into the country. And then where they came from, mushrooms will not be poisonous. And then when they get here, the mushrooms look very similar, and so they'll eat the mushrooms here, and then you'll hear about an entire family every now and again getting taken to the ER because, I don't know, they made a mistake, I guess. It's like common knowledge for people that live around here, but I guess, wow, that is a lot of shacks in the forest right there. This must be a very popular forest. What is this forest? You get like a hand job along with it when you move in? Jesus, how come there's so many people in this forest? They'll be like, oh, this is a good forest, man. This is a good forest. You should come hang out with us here. I'm like, no, I'm good. The leaves underfoot are sticky. I don't feel good about this. Hey, a whole bunch of edibles. Hell yeah, we're looking pretty good right now. We're still pretty burdened, but I'm glad that we survived whatever that last little bout of, I don't know. We were vomiting and we weren't feeling so great over the course of the last couple episodes, and now I'm really, really glad that it appears to have kind of evened itself out. I think it might have something to do with how tired you are, too. Like, it seems to happen when my thirst gets low and my tiredness is at a certain level. I may be wrong, but I'm wondering if we're vomiting from being exhausted. No, don't sleep right here. That's a terrible plan. We should go into Detroit first, where it's a little bit safer, where nobody will mess with us. Hopefully, anyways. I don't really want to... We could buy a bottle of water for 20 bucks. We have a lot of money, but I'd rather just kind of leave this alone for right now. I don't know. I've heard that you have a chance of getting sick when you eat here, but I don't know if people are just like messing with me or... I don't know. I get messed with a lot. When you're like on the internet, it happens. Okay, so over here you can use the... there's the chargy thing. So what I need to do right now... So we'll empty out the charges right there. It's an unlicensed power tap, but we can make this work. So what I need is to put a bunch of charges up in here so that if we find more laptops, we will be good and golden. It doesn't look like the value goes up at all, though, so let's wait for the tap to maybe... There we go. And it doesn't cost us moves to do this either. You just kind of got to, like, charge up your items real fast and then move along. I'll also charge up all the cell phone batteries. I'll also charge up the NVG battery, which is very, very important. It looks like it doesn't hold that much of a charge, unfortunately, so we should be able to recharge it though, and then we strap that back into there. And now with NVGs on, we should be able to see if we flip them on. We should be, how long does this last though? Charge this, so it lasts about a day. I'd love to have backup batteries for it. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. That laptop battery should last us pretty much endlessly. Cell phone batteries, we'll get those charged because obviously we're going to be searching phones for information over the course of the next little bit. They said that we needed to find our article. I don't want the 7 charges. The 7 charges suck. Get those out of there. There we go. That's what I want. There, we've got charged batteries. Everything's looking really, really good. Our NVGs are working. That means that we should be able to maintain our moves at night, as I recall. Yeah, that means we're going to be able to move through the darkness without having to worry about it, but I would rather turn them off for right now and just keep them in my inventory because they have a very, very low durability, and so I'd rather use them when things get desperate than use them, you know, just for general walking around. I wish there was a repair shop, actually, up inside Detroit. I wish there was a place where you could pay money to have certain things repaired. Seems like it would be helpful. So let's go to the junk market first. We'll unload a whole bunch of this stuff that's just up in our inventory right now. We don't have any arrows. We don't have anything else. There's an Altus Universe smartphone. We might give that a look. The Detroit Megacity tracking bracelet. Not sure what that does. A cheap memory stick. Don't know what that's for either. It's worth a lot of money, though. The BR1NG. I have no clue what that means. To be fair, there's a ton of items in this game that I'm simply just not familiar with. Oh, a battery sparker. That's kind of cool. That's really... So what a battery sparker is, if you don't know, essentially you take 2 pieces of copper wire on the end of like a 9-volt battery, and you take one from the negative and one from the positive, and you can duct tape them on there properly, or you can use electrical... I don't know if you want to... I think electrical tape actually grounds it out. But anyways, if you duct tape it on there, you get it on there properly, what you can do is you can touch the negative and positive ends together, and it'll go bzzzt, and it'll shoot a little spark, and you can actually use it to light fires and things like that. Lots of fun stuff you can do with survivalism. Lots of good books out there. Really, that's where I got most of my survivalism knowledge from, is I read a lot of books about survivalism, because I spent a lot of time out in nature, and so it seemed like a decent plan. I mean, you know, I don't expect anything to happen, but it's always better to train and prepare as though something might happen than it is to just assume that it won't, especially if your line of work puts you in danger frequently. I mean, so I figured I would go and get a little bit of knowledge and make sure, you know, that I knew how to, like, get water, make a solar still, like some of those basic survival techniques, a figure 4 deadfall, things like that. Like random little things that everybody needs to learn. I should probably get rid of the rifle. I know people are going to disagree with this decision. It's a powerful weapon, a very powerful weapon, but we've got to get rid of the bow or we've got to get rid of the rifle. We can't keep both. That's the big issue right now, is that keeping both is not a sustainable strategy. They're both worth a reasonable amount of money. The gun is limited by the fact that we can't get bullets from it. So if we can't get bullets, we can't shoot it. And very, very rarely do you ever find bullets anywhere in this game. I don't think I've found bullets very often, so I'm leaning towards the bow. I don't know what the better choice is, but honestly, it seems like the bow is probably the better call in Neo Scavenger. I'm not... It's a tough decision that... I don't know. Let me think on it for a second. I'm going to make a little break right here, a little pause break, and I'm going to think on it for a second before we make this decision. Maybe like read some forums real fast and see which one I like better. Okay, and so we're back. I read a couple forum entries, and I took a look at the different damage values, and in fact, everybody is recommending not to go with the bow, which actually surprised me a little bit. The reason being is that in order to make arrows, I think you need the range skill. I'm pretty sure you need the range skill in order to make arrows. I mean, I can check on it real fast, but... I'm pretty sure in order to craft arrows yeah, I mean, you need range skills, so we can't make our own arrows. That means first and foremost, we're going to have to buy arrows, which becomes problematic. I don't really feel like buying arrows, and then the rest of the wiki said that if you find a good rifle, just hold on to it. I mean, they said the bullets are expensive, but come endgame, you'll be able to like one-shot and two-shot dogmen with it, and once you start raiding military locations, you'll start getting a lot more rounds and things like that, so I guess we'll stick with the shotgun for right now. Seems like a decent enough plan. I mean, I wish we had someplace to put this crowbar. In fact, I may put the crowbar right there, and then we'll throw this on our back. There we go. So I'll keep the gun on my back. We're still burdened, so I need to get rid of some loot here, but I don't know. That's what they recommended on the forums. They said to Man, I don't know if it's worth it. I think it's probably worth it to put the scope on there. They said the range on a rifle is almost like 100 once you get it all squared away. They said on the plains, essentially, you're going to dominate everybody. I feel like these glass bottles are weighing me down, too. I think I should swap these out for plastics. The plastics are 0.55. Those are double the weight, essentially. But they're holding more stuff, too. I don't know. I suppose I would have to empty one out to figure it out. But for right now, pretty happy with where we are. We shouldn't actually need... Well... The crowbar is fine and all. The gas mask is going to be useful later when we go down into the swamp. We're still burdened, though. I'm having a lot of trouble keeping our character unburdened. And I don't know what's causing it right now. I mean, I think it's probably just everything. Like, we have so many good pieces of loot right now that it's probably causing us a lot of pain and suffering, but I'm not really ready to get rid of anything just yet. Like, everything here is still fairly valuable to me. So... I guess I can't craft on this hex. Hold on, we'll leave. And then I'll craft over here. There we go. So there's our stuff. If I go back to the rifle, I think I can screw the scope onto this thing and it'll add a whole bunch of range. Assuming I can find the scope. And I think we need a multi-tool maybe? Maybe we need some metal parts too. It actually looks like my character doesn't know how to do it. Usually there's a little thing over here. Interesting. Do I just have to, like, drag and drop it? Is it simpler than I'm making it? Let's find out if it's simpler than I'm making it right now. I tend to overthink things like this. Where did the gun go? I was going to say, where did that go? Alright, so we got that. It seems plausible that you might be able to affix it to the weapon this way. Or maybe you need the range skill. That's the only other thing that I could think of is maybe you need ranged. It should sit on the gun just like that, basically. That's exactly what it looks like if you're able to fix it on there. I think we might actually have to have the range skill. Let me check that real fast. Once again, I run a dual screen here, and I've got the wiki already up, so... Oh, you need a Phillips screwdriver. Okay, that'll do it. We don't have a screwdriver. You would think that a multi-tool would have a screwdriver on it. Strangely enough, a Phillips would be like the most basic thing you would expect from a multi-tool. Maybe I messed it up somehow. Let me look. I don't think I've ever seen a multi-tool that did not have... Let me bust this apart real fast. And I'm going to see if maybe I'm doing this wrong. I've got to be doing it wrong. That's all I can think of. So we got that right there. That should be enough to put it on as far as I know. Oh, if I make my own strap, I can actually save the durability on it. Huh. It definitely does not seem to... A scope with a strap? I didn't even know you could make that. Okay. Well, I guess I'll confirm it, and we'll just have to, like... I'll sell the scope, I guess. I mean, I don't... I'm sure somebody will scream at me down in the comments and tell me I'm doing it wrong. But at this point, it appears as though I'm missing some Yeah, I'm missing something here. I've got the recipe right here in front of me, the 308 rifle with a scope, and it says you need a medium thread, a small monocular. It says you need a Phillips head screwdriver, which I assume, I mean, I guess I could check the wiki and see what it counts for. It says that a multi-tool should work, so yeah. I'm not sure what's going on right now. It's a little bit weird. Very, very, very odd. Yeah, I'm not completely sure why it's not working. We'll hold on to the stuff, and I'll give it another try in between episodes, but for right now, I don't want to waste like a huge amount of episode time just fiddling with that. Like, it's seriously, on the wiki, it says that it's this right here. It says multi-tool, it says rifle, and it says scope. The other thing that... I don't know, maybe that's a large monoc... I don't think that it is, though, but anyways, this should work right here. Like, this is exactly what they have listed. Actually, no, they have small parts in theirs too, but I think we already tried that, so there's that right there, and yeah, it's still not working. Weirdly enough, I'll have to investigate it in between episodes and figure out what's going on here, because this should be the recipe right here. It's just a 308 rifle. I'm reading it like verbatim right now. A multi-tool, small parts, a rifle scope, and a rifle. That's pretty much it. And I took the strap off already, so I figure it shouldn't matter. I don't know. Don't know why it's not working. Somebody will have to enlighten me down in the comments as to why that's not the proper recipe. Really, the scope is weighing me down. That's like the last thing I need. I'll just get rid of the scope right now. I'd rather not be burdened, to be honest. There we go. So we're no longer burdened, so we can be on our way, I guess. I mean, we sold off all of our stuff right here. We're sitting on a pretty penny at the moment. We're definitely in good shape. We've got a crowbar. We've got all the things we need in order to survive long term. And so I think we're pretty much due to go out and player has a headache. That's unfortunate. Are we warmed by a trash can fire right here? There's a trash can fire around somewhere that we can sleep next to. One or more creatures approach, but none have seen you yet. Yeah, I don't really want to like mess with this guy. Thank you. I don't know. Fighting that guy's the worst plan ever. Don't do it. You'll regret it. There's a trash can fire around here somewhere that I should be able to make use of so we can sleep through the night. There we go. The communal trash can fire appears to not actually help that much. Alertness is okay, I guess. It's a little bit higher than normal. Hopefully we don't get robbed here. That would suck. Player is thirsty and had trouble falling asleep. Of course he is. Let's see, that's bad water. There's good water. It's going to move the bottle for some reason. Not sure why it decides to do that. It looks like we're going to have to come up with a water solution fairly soon. That's okay. There's a lot of lakes and stuff around here, and I'm not worried about them. We should be able to make this work. No problemo. There we go. So now that we've done that, we can actually sleep here again. Come on. Get some rest. Yep, I believe in you. Go ahead. A little bit better off, and we're not burdened anymore. So we might be able to just move on out of here. We've got the hacking skills, so let's go see what electronics we can find. I know I sold off mine, but we didn't have any charges or anything. Let's talk with this guy. Was at the 55 by the 20. He stopped speaking into a radio, disappointed at the interruption. What do you need? What's the story with the swamp? Chemical wash, he responds quickly. Nobody's permitted down there. It's highly toxic. Yeah, but why? Some crops got out of control back in the day, and we had to burn them with chemicals. His radio pipes up, and he turns slightly from me. Then he walks away, speaking into the mic. There we go. I knew there was going to be like a water hex right near here somewhere that we wouldn't have to worry about, so... We don't have... I mean, we could do some of the stuff to go into the city right now if we wanted to. And frankly, we do have a lot of money, so it would be inside our capabilities for sure. Looks like our water supply is actually what's getting us into trouble. I'm carrying around a lot of water with me. I'll start swapping them out for like random little things we find around. I think we're still too close to Detroit right now to get any real scavenging done, but we can give it a go, I guess. Destroyed office buildings sometimes allow you to use... we slipped through the floorboard and cut ourselves. Are we bleeding? Okay, so it's minor bleeding. It's not really something that has to be taken care of right this second. I'll throw a nappy-ass bandage on it right now because I don't feel like using a clean one on it. There we go. And I'll take care of it, and we'll cover that. It's kind of worthless scavenging these hexes. I don't know. I don't tend to scavenge very close to Detroit because it's really kind of an exercise in futility. We have really good loot right now, though I don't want to overstate to people like we're in fairly solid shape as far as the game goes. Got some berries right here. That's exactly what I was looking for. Some edible berries. Should probably make some more water before nightfall just in case. But I find that the scavenging is actually better up next to the Anishinaabe tribe. So I might try that. I'm going to try and make my character make it till nightfall before we stop for a break. I would very much prefer it to be that way, but we're still not... we're still a little ways out, unfortunately, from Detroit. So we're still suffering the ill benefits, if there ever was such a thing, the bad benefits of being too close to large areas. We've got a shack in the forest. Not a ton of loot, but it's enough to dig through. We've got a small battery sparker, although it doesn't have very good durability. Is anything here valuable? Not really. I mean, everything that we've picked up in this spot seems to be sort of lackluster. I'm going to go ahead and scavenge again, though, because there's a second shack in the forest, and now that the loot is decent, I don't think there's any reason to not do it. So we got a meat cleaver. It's in bad shape, though. We've got a reasonably bad shape patchwork hide tunic. I'll throw that into my backpack for later, because obviously we can sell that. There's a t-shirt right there that we can wear. How's our right shoe doing? It's at 76%. What about our left shoe? Okay, left shoe's still fine. I said I was going to clear out some of these glass bottles with plastic bottles. And I do think that's what I'm going to do right now. Let me swap that out. Play Tetris a little bit longer. I think cumulatively, those weigh 58 versus that which weighs 0.5. That might be a big issue for us right now, is that I'm just frankly carrying around way too much water inside containers that are increasing the issue. So yeah, we'll start solving those little things one by one by one. And locked storage shed, don't mind if I do. I've got lock picks. Using that and that. No useful items found. Okay, we'll leave it where it lies. Oh, he's got a Yukon backpack. A Yukon backpack and a meat cleaver. He might try and come at us. Sometimes these guys get a little bit over aggressive, I guess. Let's end our turn. I'm going to try and make it back up to the Anishinaabe Enclave, which should be over here somewhere. I guess I could look at my map, huh? I do have things to assist me in this adventure, so it's way up to the northwest. What we'll do is we'll scavenge along the way until we're full up. Let me make my way back to my character. There we go. We'll basically just keep our head to the ground for a little bit, see if we can find goodies along the way, keep ourselves alive, keep on surviving while we search for computers or anything else that might be useful out here. I'm going to be hitting every single forest tile along the way because before nightfall, we're actually going to have to purify some water. It's not super in demand right now, but it's definitely something that we should probably do. There we go. Got our thirst back up. It'll hold us. And everybody likes being held once in a while. Just be like, hold me, berries. Hold me. I need your very good love. Oh my god, your love feels so very good. There we go. Now we've gotten the berry puns taken care of because obviously you knew those were coming. I may be able to actually bring a fire with me over here and then we can just make a whole bunch of... There we go. Let's grab that. Let's grab a couple things that we need to make a good fire. And we'll step down into here. And now that we're next to this location, we can do something a little bit better. What we can do is we can go to the crafting menu. And we can just make a whole bunch of water. And much beyond that, it's not even going to matter. There we go. So a whole bunch of water has been made. Now what we want to do is we want to go back through to our stick collection here that we'd been picking up along the way. You get out of here. And then we're going to take our kindling, as we have done thousands of times before. We're going to make a frickin' fire. There we go. Frickin' fire. All nice and created. And we'll take the trapping out of there because that always seems to be the big hang-up. And we'll bring this over here. There we are. A big fire has been made. And now with our remaining moves, I'm actually going to try and get as much of our thirst taken care of as possible. Actually, that may have been folly. I may have done something stupid right here. Now there's no way for me to tell... Yeah, what's been purified and what hasn't been purified. So what I gotta do is gotta empty these out now. No, I accidentally drank bad water. Damn it. I clicked on it. It was a misclick. Oh well. Bad water is not too terrible. I mean, it can get you into trouble if you drink it a lot and consistently, but we're headed back to the medicine man's hut anyway, so hopefully we'll be able to get ourselves healed before anything escalates out of control. Got the pot. As many of the 2 stacks as you can get in here. We'll get those all nice and fixed. With a little bit left, I'm actually going to end the turn right here. Essentially, we're just going to drink our fill while we sit here. If your fill is drinkable, he may have suffered some kind of structural damage. I don't know. I tend to take better care of my fills than that. Like, fill, I like the guy. I'd prefer him not to be in liquid form. Let's go over here. We've got this. We got that. All of this water should be mostly sterilized. I can also do this to make a bunch of tannin tea, which we can sell off too if we wanted to. Make a big old grip of money making tannin tea. Alright, so yeah, I might actually do that. Let's go ahead and throw tannin tea in there. See how much tannin tea we can make as well, just in case the mood strikes us. And then we also need botany. Okay, so now we're all out of twigs and everything, and we've used up all of our moves. We're at a really, really good spot right now. We've got a couple of tannin tea that we can throw in there. Very, very valuable stuff. Water's pretty valuable, though, too. So, oh, nope, I don't want that one. That was an accidente. There it is. Empty out the bad water. Throw in the good water. And now actually might be the time when we have a surplus of water to use the extra turn to boil up some bandages too. And so I think this will probably be the last action that I take over the course of this episode, knowing full well that our inventory is full up. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Neo Scavenger. I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. It will be a lot of fun. I'm hoping this survival run lasts a while, actually. I'm really, really excited about it, and I'm pretty sure that we can do some pretty cool stuff with it. So I'll see y'all later. Hi-do, everybody.